It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for hanging out with me today. All right, y'all, I think we have a fun one today. This is going to be another one of our guest DJ days here on the channel. Last month, we did a live stream to celebrate getting to 200,000 subscribers, which was quite fun. We were also celebrating my birthday, and we did some trivia during that live stream, and we had 4 winners of those trivia questions, and the prize to each one of those winners was to be a guest DJ here on the channel during the month of May, which means they get to pick the selection for a Daily Doug episode, which is kind of cool. So it's been great so far. The first week of May, we did some talking heads from our friend Kermit. Last week, we looked at some music by ELO from our friend Matt. And today, we're going to be looking at the band Altesia. And this comes to us from our friend Arrow to the ACL. And I have to thank Arrow because Arrow's been a big supporter of the channel for a long time. If you are interested in knowing, hey, has Doug reacted to this song or this song or this song? There's a directory, and we put the link to it in every one of the description boxes of our videos. And Arrow is the person that manages that list for us. And we also have a very active community over on our Discord that Arrow is all over. And we have our music sharing, we have our music club, we have Daily Doug Radio. And this is an opportunity for members of our community to share the music that and the bands that they are really into. And Arrow comes to me and he says, well, there's this new band that I learned about by hanging out on your Discord. So he really has taken to this band, and he asked me to look at them, and he wasn't sure. It's like, are they going to be right for the channel because they're new and they don't have a widespread fan base yet? And I said, well, let's take a look. I listened to the music and I very much enjoyed it, and so we reached out to the band to let them know that we were considering this, and they said, hey, let's chat. So I had the opportunity to chat with 4 out of the 5 members of this band from France a couple days ago, and I really enjoyed the conversation that I had with them. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. I am going to share with you some of my interview with the band. We're also going to, along the way, listen to 2 of their songs. They have 2 records out, one released in 2019 and one released in 2021. So this is my attempt to share with you some new sounds from a band that doesn't have a whole lot of traction yet, but I think they're worthy. They remind me of a cross between Opeth and Haken, and that's some pretty good company, if you ask me. So here is some of my interview with members of the band Altesia. So everybody, thank you for being with me. I have most of the band Altesia with me. We have Henry on keyboards, Alexis on lead guitar and backing vocals, Hugo is on the bass, and Clement is on lead vocals, rhythm guitar, the songwriter of the bunch. Hey y'all, how's it going?
Great.
Hey, great.
Right.
Great. Thanks for having us.
It's so great to be able to talk with you guys. I have listened to a little bit of your music, and I was alerted to your music by our friend Chad, who has won the guest DJ day here on the Daily Doug. And so when he said, hey, let's listen to some Altesia, and I said, who are they? and then he shared, and then I was able to get in touch with all of you, and so let's chat. So y'all have 2 albums. Paragon Circus was released in December of 2019, and the most recent Embryo was released in October of 2021. Let's start with how and when y'all met and got together. What was the synergy around the group's founding?
Yeah, I think we met back in 2018, late 2018. At the beginning, I started to work on this project I called Altesia. That was a solo project back then, but it was not meant to stay a solo project. I wanted to start working on some material and then try to gather some local musicians to give life to this project. And this is how we all met. So I just took my computer and I wrote messages to some musicians all around me, and all these marvelous guys here today decided to hop in the van, and this is how we all started. So
That's wonderful.
we basically just rehearsed the songs, and we played them, recorded the first album, and 3 months after that, the first lockdown happened in France. So unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to play. But yeah, we got back to another album quite quickly after that.
That's cool.
I actually came in later in the band. I wasn't the bass player for the first album. I did the opening show for the album. I guess it's how we say it. But I wasn't the one the premiere. Yeah, I was the one playing it, but I didn't record the first album.
Okay.
I arrived later in the band.
Cool. Well, so
I'm a bit of the exception.
You're the new guy. You're the new guy. Okay.
I'm the new guy.
We know who to pick on. We know who to pick on that. Do y'all have similar tastes in music? Did you all like bond over like, yeah, we all like the same types of stuff, or are your musical tastes really eclectic? Talk about some of your influences, musical heroes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Alexis.
Yeah, I guess the core of what we like is centered around what Clement brought for first influences, like Opeth, Haken, etc. But then we have all different influences. For example, I will dig much older bands such as Rush or Yes, for example. And Henry will like to listen to Nightwish, as you said earlier. And I'd say Hugo would listen to much more modern music styles, such as Periphery, etc. So
more gent stuff.
And stuff, yeah. And there is, we introduce each other or the band that we like, and there is kind of synergy, but the core of the band, this is centered now around Opeth, Haken, Caligula's Horse, Between the Buried and Me, and etc.
And actually going into Altesia made me realize how much I loved, more classical prog stuff, because lately I was more into modern things, and yeah, it really made me go back into this more classical prog vibe, and I really like it.
Wonderful. I have had the opportunity to listen to a little bit of your music. Paragon Circus was the first album. So from this one, I have heard Amidst the Smoke, which y'all shared with me. I thought it has great vocal harmonies. The sound that y'all have together is really really great. I love the keyboard stuff, Henry. Great stuff on the organ there.
Thank you.
And I even heard I went on your website, and there's an acoustic version of that particular tune. That's really fun. All right, y'all. So speaking of the song Amidst the Smoke, this is one that I have heard off of the first album from Altesia, Paragon Circus. And as I was getting ready to share this one with all of you, like we talked about in the interview, I noticed this acoustic version of them playing this in what looks like a French chateau. So I think this one will be more interesting for us to take a look at, because we get to see the musicians in this band in action. So we've got Henri Bordelon on the keyboards, Alexis Casanova on lead guitar and backing vocals, Hugo Bernard on bass, Clement Derieux on lead vocals, rhythm guitar, and he is the songwriter. Jan Minaj is on drums and backing vocals, and as a guest of the band, Thibault Malon on violin. So this is going to be fun, y'all. Amidst the Smoke, the acoustic version of this. Off we go. Boy, that's a cool looking logo, though. For sure. Acoustic version, Amidst the Smoke. Same song, but of course with the acoustic treatment, a different vibe.
Down below,
Cool. They're switching out. They're in C minor, and they're switching out the A flat, right? Sometimes it's an A flat, sometimes it's an A natural in this F chord. Back to F minor, so that's the A that switches back. Cool. Awesome playing, nice and tasteful. And those little pops in the arrangement draw the ear back, you know, and of course the great harmony vocals doesn't hurt, right? Sounds great. That's a C, then the B flat, to the F. This is text that has come back, so I'm guessing this is a chorus. Time to awake. The morning of the glow will arrive in the skies where the eye can see. Open the gate to all the wonders hiding away, and you will set your mind free. There's the 4 going from major to minor, to the 5. Oh, flat 6, before they go back to 1. Fun. And the addition of the violin is great. Really lovely as a lead instrument. Parallel riffs. Right? There's some where are they going? Are they switching keys on me? Tasteful licks. Nice playing from Alexis. Sailing on the seas of profusion. Looking through the gap of illusion. They're in a different key, y'all. That sounds like 4 to 1. They're in F now. They moved from C to F. But that's a G dominant chord. And that's a so yeah, so C's gonna stay dominant. Back down to 4. Cool. Sneaky, guys. Suspended to 5/7. Flat 7. and they end in F minor. So they start in C minor and they end in F minor. That I loved. I hope y'all loved that as well. That was great. The lyrics. So they have a sense of humor. Tune that piano, y'all. That was a little Easter egg in amongst everything. Lovely. As I was looking at the lyrics to this, I think it's just a general call to remain hopeful and to join in this the last little line, the circle of life. Deep inside your heart, there's a garden full of colors, a blooming joy ahead. Ethereal and bright is the path that leads to healing in the circle of life. The very beginning of the song, it says, down below the gleaming dome lie the dawning seeds of gold, feeding the ground in the silence of the night as the clock awaits the call. It's calling to, and then the next line, time to awake, right? It is an affirmation. It's whatever happened before, the cycles are going, jump on back in, and let's try again. Time to awake, the morning of the glow will arrive in the skies where the eye can see. Open the gate to all the wonders hiding away, and you will set your mind free. It's a lovely sentiment, and wow, I loved the acoustic version as much as I loved the version on the album. Wonderful stuff. We need to get back to the interview, though, so here is more of my interview with Altesia. So talk to me about the songwriting process. Clement, I know that you are listed as the songwriter of the bunch, but how do y'all work on the arrangements? Is everything charted when you come in, or do you kind of get together and work everything out?
On the first album, I would say that most ideas I had in mind were basically written, but for the latest album, we decided to take more time altogether to dig in the details and stuff like that, and try to add some layers and help everyone to get involved in the writing process as well, and try to put everyone's personal touch in the music. But for Amidst the Smoke, and more specifically for the rest of the Peregrine Circus album, I would say we were trying to learn each other, learn to we had just met, basically.
Sure.
So we had to start working together as a band. So I think maybe it's not that I was lacking of confidence or stuff like that, but I had my ideas, and
Sure.
basically wanted to show them my ideas, and maybe the other were a bit shy to try to experiment stuff, which was not the case on Embryo, because now we've been touring together and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess this is why maybe I prefer Embryo now, because it's a more complex record, I would say, in terms of details, and everyone is more involved in the songwriting process as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and also in terms of arrangement, like Clement records like demos that are pretty bare bone, and he sends that to us, and then everybody pretty much works out their part. And for example, there's no keyboard at all on his demos, so it's like I just do everything myself.
Well, it sounds great so far. Musical training, have you played your instruments for very long? Did you have classical training? Just play the stuff on the radio? Conservatory? Talk about your musical training.
I started guitar I don't know, I don't remember, like 22 years ago, I guess.
Wow.
I wasn't working a lot first, and then I discovered Metallica when I was 13 or 14, and then how is it possible to do solo like that? But I was naive at the time, and then I discovered Dream Theater, and then I tried to work mechanics and really technical stuff, and then I worked a lot parallel of my studies. And there was a time, maybe a few years ago, when I let go, the technical stuff. And this is where I guess I really progressed, actually. So, but I was in a school for 10 years, and then I was on my own playing in different band projects, mostly prog music.
Cool. Yeah. Go ahead, Hugo.
Yeah. Well, actually, initially I'm a guitar player, and I wanted to get in the band at the beginning as a guitar player, but as Clement was looking for a guitar player that could sing backing vocals, he went with Alexis. And then when they were looking for a bass player, I was like, well, I can play bass. Why not, try it on the bass guitar? So I just went for it.
Well, I can sing bass, so if you're ever out with sore hands, you just let me know. All right.
Yeah. Sure.
Well,
and also I actually went to a music school, and Henry went to that same music school too. So yeah, we weren't on the same year, but that's a fun fact.
I noticed that your albums, both of these, are recorded and mixed at a home studio. So what are the pros and cons of, as you see it, with doing these records on your own in a home studio or in conjunction with a record label or a bigger operation like that?
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. So about recording home studio, so Yann Ménage, the drummer of the band, has done most of the process, mixing the album, and the first Paragon Circus was mastered by him as well. He knows how to do. Actually, he knows how to. He's practicing a lot every day, and he tries to build also some professional career on music and mixing engineering also. So it was really interesting working with him. I worked because I have some knowledge also in some audio, electronics and stuff. So I worked with him to produce and mix and record the guitars. So it was quite okay. We knew what we wanted, but so you're on your own. It's cheap. You can make it go back and forth, and make it listen to every band members, and then you go again, and then you cycle the cycle. But the con is that we don't have any external ear about how we sound. So actually the reviews were pretty much okay with that. The sound of the first album, Paragon Circus, was quite retro prog music. It was not like edgy like modern prog stuff, but it was still okay, more warm, and people were okay with that, but we still feel we missed something. So on the second album, Embryo, we decided to master it with an external studio, Secret Place Studio, with our friend David Thiers, who worked with some band near Bordeaux. And then in the future, I don't know, I think we will have a great interest in externalizing all the mixing and mastering process.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be nice to, record an album in the studio where we're all together and we really go into this recording vibe and with specific things in mind. Because when we record at home, we have more freedom and more time to experiment things. But it's also a good way, I think, to just do it in 2 weeks where we're all together and do it under this pressure, and having an external person give advices and like that.
It's just the creative process is fascinating to me, because every time for me, I'm a composer, so I have a certain process for the way that I create my music. But in the recording side of things, every band and that musician that I've talked to is slightly different for how they like to build the art. And so it's an interesting question to me. Process is something that intrigues me. with the world kind of opening up again. I mean, y'all, you formed a band at exactly the right time, like right before the world shut down, right? I mean, because Paragon Circus came out in December of 2019. By like March of 2020, in just 3 short months, I was just at home twiddling my thumbs. So, with the world opening up again, are you guys like, what are the plans for upcoming live performances? Are you thinking about local shows or a tour or working with any other bands?
Yeah, working with a tourer would be awesome. For now, we're still really independent in the whole process, I would say. So we don't have a label. We self-released our own albums. We book our own gigs as well. So I think this is cool because it allows us to know if someday we're going to be working with some external people about this particular things, we will be able to know what we want, what we don't want, basically. So that's cool, and this is also a good way to learn how it works, in the music industry. So for now, it's basically just the 5 of us doing stuff for the band. But I guess that's fine. But of course, we have some ambition, and we would like to raise the bar. So we try to raise the bar with this latest album, and of course, with the upcoming album, we will try to put things to the next level again. And same thing for the shows. Trying to play in other countries, for example, in European countries, or maybe in the US someday. So yeah, that's what we are going to do in the next few years, I would say.
So there's a new album coming up. There's you got more ideas for a third disc?
There are
talking
ideas
about it. there are ideas.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're discussing about it, but for now it's really in the early process, so
cool.
We can't really say anything. Yeah.
Well, actually, I think the artwork is the artwork for the album has been chosen, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. So we kind of have the idea for the next album.
That's funny.
But it isn't composed yet.
We have the graphics, we have the script, we have some pitch, and we don't have any music at all.
So, sometimes it starts with a picture, doesn't it? You never know where it's going to start. But the important question, the one that I wanted to say for the end, y'all are all from the Bordeaux region of France, and I have never been to France. So my main question is it red wine or white wine? What are we drinking?
Red wine.
Mainly red.
Mainly red. I am a fan of Bordeaux style wines, so I need to get over there and partake of some myself. Yeah. I have heard off of Embryo, off of the new album, I can hear the forward progress, the maturation of the band. I've heard the Remedial Sentence, which I very much enjoyed, the Liar's Oath. I have not yet got to the big track, the epic Exit Initia. Is that the way?
Yeah.
It like a 20-minute track. So I've got some homework to do. So if I ever do a reaction to that one, I'll have plenty to talk about for sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. As you are a prog head, you will definitely enjoy some parts of that song at least, and hopefully the whole song.
I think it's one of our favorite songs, and maybe one of our favorite songs to play live too, because we've been able to play it live at some shows when there's some time. So it's a fun song to play.
Awesome. Well, I will be including a little bit of your music here for my listeners on this episode, and I'm happy to get to know all of you, and we'll stay in touch as things progress for all of you. If you ever get to America on the East Coast, look me up, and I'll come and say hello. Y'all can find Altesia at altesiamusic.com. It's Altesia. You guys also have a Bandcamp, which is where I got a lot of great information about your music. Any other ways that people can find you all online?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook,
mainly.
Instagram.
All right, the normal social outlets.
We're not on TikTok yet, but
Uh-oh.
one day maybe.
Fun. Well, thank you to Henry and Alexis and Hugo and Clement for hanging out with me today, and best of luck for you all and the band as you move forward. And thanks for taking the time to chat with me today.
Thanks,
Thank
dude.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you to the guys in Altesia for chatting with me. They seem like wonderful folks. In fact, all of the proggers that I have met over the last several months have been so nice and welcoming, and it make you just want to hang out with them as much as you possibly can. So it's great to listen to music from people that you find so just nice and welcoming and warm. And so it's been really great getting to know them and their music. Speaking of their music, we have one more song to listen to, y'all. So off of Embryo, their second album released in October of 2021, I have heard some of this. I've heard the Remedial Sentence, which is a song that we're going to listen to. I have also heard off of this album The Liar's Oath. I have not yet listened to Exit Initia. This is the epic that we were talking about from this album. Maybe I will save that for another time. But for today, let's take a look at the Remedial Sentence. I was really struck with the progginess of this one, so I think that y'all will like it. Here we go, the Remedial Sentence from Altesia. Off we go. Two, three, four, five, six. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 plus 6. That is an interesting bit of a way to do 14.
Affliction.
Right. Affliction, destruction, gnawing, aching, wicked, violence.
Temptation.
Cool.
Rebellion. Burning. Vengeance. Breath in my veins. I carry it into his eyes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7.
I carry the weight of rolling, driving
Cool.
me insane. Someone's voice is coming from the
Whoa.
sky.
Fun. Listen to the string pads back there.
Someone's calling from the other side.
Woo.
How the grandeur of men forgiving is and me survive.
That was cool. All right, y'all, don't forget to tip your waiters and waitresses. Hope you've had a good time. This is great. Listen to this. There's a different little section.
Hear all these words.
C sharp minor to E to D sharp to the 5 to the 1.
Within myself, my brother, a slayer. I don't know any.
I think the vocal in this section, I don't know if it's meant to be from a different point of view, but the vocal color has changed, right? It's more nasally. My brother, a slayer, I don't know anymore. Please lend me the truth. Your vision will lead to understand. I can't read into his eyes a culprit or a prey. So we're talking about, I'm not sure, he says my brother, right? Somebody who he can't figure out if they're a victim or the person causing issues, right? That is a cool progression. To crown the grandeur of a man, forgiving is unmissable. Another different type of section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Begin. Soul, right? So they're soloing over the 4 chord here. Like I said in the introduction, y'all, when I listen to this band, it reminds me of a cross between Opeth and Haken. There's parts of this that remind me of Haken so much, but the other one we heard, Amidst the Smoke, reminds me of a lot of the mellower stuff from Opeth. Listen to the bass growling down there. What are we leading to, y'all? Great drumming.
Someone's voices coming from the sky, guiding and warning. Someone's voices coming from the sky.
That's just the coolest part of the song to me. It's a great lick for a chorus. 1, down by half step, then to relative major, it sounds like. Some chromatic third motion in there. Six. Spike like the beginning, right? Fun, right? Great band. These are guys that when Arrow brought them to my attention, and I said, well, let's give it a shot. We normally stick to mainstream bands, or at least I have been here on the channel, because I haven't heard their stuff either, quite frankly. But when Arrow came to me with this band, and I thought, this is so telling of our community. How just from being involved in our community, one can learn from somebody else. Like, hey, this is a band that I like. I've heard this before, and Arrow's like, ooh, this is great. And then he becomes enamored with their sounds. And then when it comes time to say, hey, let's do this music, I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. And Kudos to the guys from Altesia. Y'all are great. We had a great conversation, and I really have enjoyed getting to know their music. And like I said like we said in the interview, they started at a really inopportune time, and it's not their fault, right? You start a band, you put out an album, and global pandemic for 2.5 years, right? But they're doing the work, and it's good music. And I have a platform here on YouTube, and one of the things that I like to do is, apart from learning all of the great music that y'all know very well, is to see if we can find some really great musicians that maybe not a whole lot of people know about yet, and say, hey, check it out, y'all. Sharing is caring, right? The one last thing that I want to leave y'all with, I forgot to ask a main question that I had of the band while we were talking together. So I emailed them and I asked this question: what does the name Altesia mean? Of course, you would think that's the first one. Altesia, that's an interesting name. What does it mean? And so Clement answered me by saying this: as for the name Altesia, I was looking for a name back in 2016 when I was creating the project. All of the cool names seemed to be already taken. That's why I decided to create a name from scratch. And one night, the name Altesia appeared in my mind, and I knew it was the right name. It reminded me of a tree name, though that word actually didn't mean anything. As our lyrics are about self-improvement, I imagined an Altesia could be an imaginary tree that would never stop growing, just like our life as human beings delivers new opportunities to progress and grow as individuals every day. There you go. Altesia, y'all. I think their heart's in the right place. Their music is well informed. It's got great grooves. It's got great licks. They play well together. You can see it from the acoustic version of Amidst the Smoke that we did. They play well together. They're relaxed with each other. It sounds wonderful. So there you go, y'all. Guest DJ Day with Altesia, featuring some Remedial Sentence from their newest album, Embryo, and then Amidst the Smoke from their very first album. So thanks to y'all for hanging out with me today and for taking a chance on Altesia. Thank you, Arrow, for all that you do for our community. It's great to have you among our ranks, and you make us better. So thanks to all of you for your continued support. Check out Altesia. You can find them at altesiamusic.com or altesia.bandcamp.com. Thanks, y'all, for hanging out with us today. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.